Hello everybody, and here, and welcome back to Wistoria, Wand and Sword, not magic and sword, but wand and sword. Tsue to Tsurugi. Tsue to Tsurugi no Wistoria. Yeah, episode 2, and I cannot wait what we will see here, because the previous episode really did a good job in making me interested, in making me excited for future episodes, and not myself alone. From what I gather, the general reception of this show is very, very positive. People love the animation, people love the art, people are interested in the story. This could be one of the hits, honestly, of this season. In my opinion, perhaps alongside of the whatchamacallit, Bye Bye Earth. Yeah, Bye Bye Earth is also good. Not quite on this level, at least not yet, but still, very good. Bye Bye Earth would be more like a sleeper hit, I guess, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. Only the first episodes of all those shows have came up so far, so... Well, QA testing in Another World, episode 2, is already out, so not all of them. Regardless, in the previous episode, we got an introduction to the world, introduction to the story, introduction to the characters. Not much happened to establish the first arc, so to speak, or any arc whatsoever, any sort of... I mean, no, we do have an overarching story established, I would say. So that was done as well. The protagonist of our story is Will Sarholt, who is attending a magic academy without magic. He just cannot use any magic, he's unable to do so. So he's been kind of coasting on getting good grades by the theoretical bits, right? Writing essays and tests and stuff like that, and by killing monsters in the dungeon. Because apparently killing monsters also gets you some points towards your final grade or whatever. And he's really good at that, because he's strong, he's very... enduring, I guess you could say. He's the physique of a dwarf, as they said. He has a metric ton of strength, and he's really fast, and he can assess the situation really well, so he's just flippity-flopping in the air, cutting monsters left and right with a sword. And that makes him the only warrior in the world of mages. I think the sole warrior in the world of mages, something like that. That was this, like, the line in the show, so to speak. So yeah, that's our main character. Besides him, we have a couple more people as well. Most notably, there is his professor, Professor Werkner, who's willing to work with Will, where not many other people want to do that, right? For example, Professor Edward, who's this serious Severus Snape, essentially, who is like, a person with no magic attending a magic academy, preposterous, what's this school coming down to, and, this sort of shit. There is the not the childhood friend, the friend in general. We are not... I don't think we have the information as to when they've met, but that would be Colette, in any case, who's Will's friend, and probably has a little bit of a crush on him as well, let's be honest here. And then there is a childhood friend. That was Elfaria. Yeah, Elfaria. Who is up in the tower keeping the sky from falling, essentially. Elfaria and Will made a promise, right, back in the day when they were children, that we will climb the tower, we will become the best mages there are, we will get the right to climb that tower, and we will reside there, and we will see the sunset. Finally, nobody's ever seen the sunset, but we will do that. Unfortunately, Will has no magic, so he was entirely unable to climb that tower, figuratively or literally as well. But Elfaria resides there and is keeping the sky up. which is probably one of the most interesting bits about the world in the show. The sky is not real. The sky is not real. The sky is fucking fake. There was some sort of, if I understand it correctly, there were some sort of deities fighting against the humans, and the humans took all those like big five mages, I believe, and those big five mages created a seal, a dome above the area, probably not the entire Earth, but the immediate area at least, to keep away the forces of evil. But that, of course, cut off humanity from, well, not much of a sun and sky, because it was all, I believe, like dark and, you know, smoke and shit. But they created the dome, and in that dome they placed sun, which is a bunch of magical lamps. And as the day progresses, some of those lamps get turned off, so it shines less and less, and at night it doesn't shine. It's a super cool idea. And yeah, we don't know what's up with that, really. We just have that general myth of, you know, oh, there was evil, and there was a shield, and we live underneath that shield, and that's it. And everybody just takes it at face value, which makes sense because they live in this world, right? They've been taught this fact from childhood. But it strikes us, the viewers, as something with a lot of potential. My immediate theory here is, of course, that Will not be able to climb that tower because he has absolutely zero magic, but he will somehow be able to take down that barrier and remove the necessity for it, rather. That he will be able to defeat the monsters, the gods, the demons, whatever is threatening humanity, and that will make it so that the tower is no longer necessary, Elfaria can step down, and they can finally watch the sunset. That's gonna be interesting if it goes in that direction instead of, you know, the classic, oh, Will has magic after all, but it only activates with the power of the Nakama, or some bullshit like that. I really don't think it's gonna happen, but who knows? We've only seen episode 1. There is also the bully, Sion Ulster, who has a couple of had a couple of goons, because both of them are dead by now. And I mean, he's just the bully. He's just the, oh, you don't have magic. Well, I come from a very wealthy family. I'll have you know, I have the best magic that everybody ever had. People say it's the best magic. And you are no one, you have no magic. Ha ha ha. Right, he is essentially this kind of a character. Not quite as obnoxious as I made him to be, but close. Close. And he's the bully, and that's his character. That's just him. And I believe he and Professor Edward are like in cahoots a little bit because they both hate Will. I don't know. Something's gonna happen there. During the course of the previous episode, what exactly happened? Well, Will got to fight a like Dark Guardian, something like that. A monster worth 10 points. We got a lot of Sakuga, like a lot of really good Sakuga. And Will saved Sion, and Sion just was so angry at it that he just bit his tongue, and yeah. I mean, for the most part, the previous episode was just establishing the world, the story, the characters. The goal, right? The goal to fulfill the promise made to the Nakama, immediately reminiscent of Kaiju number 8, right? Basically the same thing. And yeah, that's where we're at. We are going to start wherever, I don't know, maybe right after the events of the previous episode, maybe after some time skip. I've no clue, really. The previous episode was kind of self-contained, so they could start us off pretty much anywhere, and start the proper first arc of this show. That's what I assume is going to happen. Am I a little bit too orange, I wonder? Maybe that's gonna be better. Yeah, I think that's slightly better. Again, I still haven't replaced the light bulb, so the lighting is, is a little bit weird here at times. But yeah, regardless, I've been talking for 10 minutes already. How about I stop and we just start watching instead, right? How's that sound? To watch it, you will need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching Wistoria episode 2 in 3, 2, 1, go! Time skip, but 5 years in the past. Oh, gotcha. His entry into the academy, I presume. Yeah, Magiavander, that's the term here. What's up with those hentai protagonists? Headmaster. Headmistress, rather. Cauldron, and fittingly, she has a cauldron behind her. Oh, some sort of a test, I assume. How did he acquire those skills, even? Okay, at least the headmistress is chill. For a sword to yearn to be a wand. Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance, sure. You're gonna need a new sword, though. This one's kinda broken looking. Well, there is certainly something nefarious about her, isn't there? Or maybe not necessarily nefarious, but rather this kind of a character who's just, you know, curious in not necessarily ethical ways. Like, you know the trope, right? He, the kind of an antagonist who doesn't necessarily want to like kill the main character, but is just fucking with them to see how far they can go, right? This sort of an archetype. And opening, first time we see it. Dwarves, yeah, we've heard them mentioned. Will's roommate. Green-haired elf. Blue-haired someone. Members of Will's party, question mark? I mean, her probably. Blood? Blood magic? The figurative power of Will's blood, signifying the physical. Broken promise goggles. And him fighting without them, curiously. Does he not need goggles? Does his sheer muscle power fix his eyesight, or... I mean, at least you can very easily tell the time, right? If there's only half the sun, it's, you know, midday. Yeah, you gotta go even higher. Mm-hmm. I mean, that should be easy. Couple of monsters and done. Oh, makeup classes? Or... yeah, probably a makeup class. For the failures, quote-unquote, of the academy. Right, so you gotta make the credits in praxis, they call it, right? Yeah. He barely can be bothered with regular class, it seems to me. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't Sion, though. How are you alive, even? Are those his goons, or did he get new ones? Ah, stings, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't think you have any chance in a physical altercation. You're only gonna hurt your hand if you punch him. Yeah, you could say that. That was a nice bit of animation. Yeah. He's doing well. He's not failing classes, right? Well, maybe your magic is weak if it can be surpassed by mere, physical strength. Have you thought about getting good, maybe? Yeah. Fated day. Meaning? Okay, so he's guaranteed to pass, essentially. Really cool music, by the way. And some really cool shots. Oh? Dark Viper Mage, what the fuck is this new term? Right, magic locks. That's a lot of books. Hmm. Why? A race from another world? Excusez-moi? We doing isekai now? True, yeah. And they won? Or just about barely? Is it even his? I mean, probably whose else? Oh, hello, Severus. What up? Spell hole. So, like a big gymnasium, but for magic, basically. And the focus on fully rendered teeth. At least give him a weapon, maybe. I know that it's, asking for too much, but... True, yeah. I mean, that should be easy. Ashwind Wand. And again, no translation. And Dark Viper Wand. So I guess everybody has a wand that's named in a specific way? Or is it like a type? Like a yew wand or oak wand? Probably, yeah. Oh, you're gonna watch what's happening on a flat screen? Basically, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is only fair, sure. Amazing music. Very cinematic. Is there like a... Oh, of course, yeah. Okay, so I guess you don't necessarily need long incantations for magic. Some spells just have, like, simple names. Shield. I mean, he doesn't have a weapon, so what else is he supposed to do? That's a big magic circle. Broken glasses. You got your goggles? Oh, well, that hit found its target. What's going on with the with Kiki? Or whatever is the name. Yeah, Kiki. And what would that be? Okay, so like Gate of Babylon, but dark bolts of magic. Okay. I like how he's like the orchestra director casting his magic. I like those movements. Not with this attitude. Kiki? No. Lotte? No, not. She's not Charlotte. She's Colette. Grab his sword, just in case. You're not far off. You're really not far off. Oh, Kiki is injured. I was expecting familiars to be like, maybe not invulnerable, but like kinda incorporeal, maybe? Okay, so that's how Will is gonna get his sword, and that's how he's gonna win. And they lost, I assume, because otherwise you would not be asking for that. 3? 1. Okay. Well, give him a sword first, maybe, and then make comments about swords reaching wands. I mean, doesn't that count as scoring a hit? I wanna see my Osana Nanjimi. Or whatever is that translates to childhood friend, doesn't it? I think. Oh, just straight up love. Less of a friend, more of a crush. Okay. Unless we're talking platonic love. Does it strike home, perhaps? Music's picking up. Shine in his eyes. Poor Colette, man. Poor Colette. Oh, that's a nice, like, fucking Kamina from Gurren Lagann. Goggles, sword. Now you're fucked, Edward boy. No. Yes. It should be easy for you, shouldn't it? You say wand is mightier than a sword, so let's see it. Moria blade. We know it's silver, but I guess there's like a specific name for it. Yep. Only way is through. And power of friendship. Oh. Was it Eddie Boy who was fighting the dwarves? Or one of his ancestors, perhaps? Easy. When you have a dispelling sword. Okay, yeah, I mean, that counts as a hit, doesn't it? 5 points to Gryffindor. At least he stays true to his word. I can appreciate it in an antagonist, you know? I can appreciate it. Easy. As long as Will has a sword on him. Mm-hmm. So, what of it? Apparently ending. Okay. I guess we're not gonna learn the full importance of it quite yet. Ending with Elfaria. Does she have Will's plushie? I guess he can resist many magics, but not the magic that turns you into a marketable plushie, huh? Some sliders, some cake. It's a lot of cake for breakfast. Seems to be a decently vast area enclosed under that barrier. I was expecting the area to be closer to like a single city, but it seems to be more of a country. She's replying to letters, I assume. Whose? Her fans? I don't know, probably. Yep, that's a marketable Fumo plushie of Will. Oh, after credits. Thank you. Whomst. That's not Will, there's no Ahoge. Oh, the yellow guy. Omurais. Oh. I guess that's why Will claims that he wouldn't let him out. Okay. I mean, at least the Fujos don't need to look particularly far for for stuff to write about. I mean, hey, much easier time than with trying to, I don't know, give Harry a male love interest, which most of the time ends up being Draco anyway. So, yeah. Regardless, let's watch it again, shall we? Yes, we shall. Alrighty. So, 5 years ago, can't use magic, he got into the academy as a bait, quote unquote, to lure Lady Elfaria. I guess she said that I'm not going into the academy if Will isn't with me. And so they sent Will as well because they really wanted to have her at the academy. Yeah, rejected by everybody except Workener and accept the headmistress, who was willing to at least give him a chance. I really like the archetype of the headmistress. Like, you can't really see what she's thinking at any given time, right? Like, I was constantly flip-flopping between, is she a good character or is she a bad character, or which is it? But I think that her archetype is essentially the not antagonist. I wish there was a word for a character who's neither an antagonist nor a protagonist, who's on neither side of the barricade, like a true neutral. Because she's kind of giving me those vibes, right? Like, she sees potential in Will, she sees something in him, but she's not going to coddle him about it. Rather, she's going to expose him to all sorts of hardships as a way to maybe temper him, maybe as a way to hone his skills, maybe as a way to just check what he's capable of, right? Maybe just thirst for knowledge, right? She really reads as this kind of a character for me, who will send Will on a, potentially suicide mission into the demon forest of darkness to slay 15 darkness dragons of venom or whatever. And she would want to see if Will can do that for that reason alone. Or maybe for the reason of, if he can do it, he will grow much more powerful, so good. If he cannot do it, then, well, I guess he wasn't the chosen one after all, so whatever. Right? Kind of sort of something like that. I like it. I like the headmistress. Yeah, not giving him a straight answer either, right? If you're diligent and stand firm, you maybe. I mean, maybe, It's the word of magic, nothing is impossible. Imagine a sword aiming to become a wand. I don't think the sword is aiming to become a wand so much as it's aiming to achieve the same, right? I think it's more along those lines. He's not trying to cast magic with his sword, right? He's not trying to train to be a muscle wizard. No, he's taken the sword and wants to achieve the thing that magic is able to achieve. How will this all turn out, I wonder? I think this line sums up the headmistress perfectly. Opening. Okay, what do we see here? Will having a skin-tight black suit looking very much like Lelouch right before entering a mecha. I mean, that's basically what he looks like. He just looks like Lelouch in this black suit. Some sort of a coliseum. I'm assuming a training arc or a, I don't know, exam arc or something like that. What's that on his back? Is it just the sword, or does he have something else? It's just the backpack and the sword. We meet some new characters. We have Colette using electric gravity thingamajig magic. We have Sion using fire, because I mean red hair, fire, of course, right? Makes sense. And we have all of them meet up, right? That's Sion. That's the green. That's not Colette though. That's some yellow girl, and the blue. And is that Will on the right, or? I thought this was maybe a shot at like Will's team, essentially. I mean, it would be an obvious thing, really, to turn Sion into a teammate. But I think this is more of a team of antagonists, right? I thought that the blue guy and the green guy are going to join Will, but it's probably the team of antagonists that we are introduced to. This is going to be a friend, though. Girl in braids, dwarves, anal beads with a hook at the end, and Will's roommate. Some tools on the wall. Is he like an artificer? Oh, I think it might be the case. I mean, it would be a perfect dynamic, right? A character who is using all sorts of, armor and weapons and gadgets and shit to traverse the dungeon, who needs the help of those gadgets because he doesn't have magic of his own, and his best friend, roommate, lover kind of person is an artificer who just makes this shit for him, right? Like, it really seems to me like this yellow dude is going to be Will's Q, essentially. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I'm actually gonna note it down. I'm fairly certain of it, so it's gonna be an easy win for me when we check the theories at the end. By the way, how many episodes is it? It's not listed yet, not on any list at least. So we still don't know how many episodes. Curious. What was I? The yellow boy, that is Rosti. Rosti is Will's Q, making him gadgets and fixing his gear, right? Like, hey, Rusty, I'm coming back from the dungeon. I got some Dracolic skin. Could you tan it and make me some gloves? And Rusty's like, hell yeah, well, as long as you agree to take a bath with me. That's basically what their dynamic's gonna be, isn't it? The promise goggles, yeah. That's not Colette. Yeah, that's the yellow girl fighting, and the green boy fighting, and the blue boy cloning himself and fighting. More of the yellow girl, more of the green elf. They're really prominent in the opening. I guess Colette uses like earth magic, while Sion uses fire. The blue boy uses ice, the green elf uses earth, and the yellow girl uses electricity. Probably something like that. Now, what's this about? That's Colette on the left, and the yellow girl on the right. And a twist, and a pull, and a blood. What could that be? I have no clue. Picking up the sword, fighting without glasses, without goggles, curiously. And we see the goggles shattered and broken. Why? I mean, symbolism would be that the promise between him and Elfaria is broken. But I don't know why would it be. Right, as long as Will doesn't give up on becoming a Magia Vander, the promise is not gonna be broken. So it's probably not a symbol for that. Will fighting without goggles? I don't know. Finding another reason to fight besides just chasing after Elfaria? Maybe. Right, like those goggles symbolize their promise. So Will leaving them off, leaving them behind, and them lying destroyed might signify the fact that he just left that promise behind, maybe, like willingly and knowingly rejected it. I can't see him doing that unless it turns out that Elfare is secretly a villain, but I really don't think so. She's not being portrayed in that way, far as we can tell. Okay, that was the opening. Makeup classes. You advance from school into the upper institute in the tower, and then to that's the upper institute. So this is like the lower institute, right? No, this is the upper institute, and this is the upper institute as well. Oh, no. You go to the upper institute, you get recognized by the upper institute, and you go to the top. Gotcha. Yeah, sure. Makes sense. Two principal methods: create a new form of magic or score enough points. Wouldn't surprise me if Will were to create a brand new form of magic. Depends how much does the story want to stick with Will cannot use magic. I've seen many a story also coming from the position of our main character cannot use magic, and then it turns out that they can actually, but it's been suppressed, or they needed a MacGuffin, or they needed an impulse, or they needed something, or they needed something else, or it just randomly happened, or whatever, right? And boom, suddenly they can throw fireballs. No questions asked. I don't think this show is going to be that. But I guess I could see maybe Will's strength being actually of magical nature. It's not that he cannot use magic, it's that all of his magic is directed inwards. And nobody ever really bothered to research that, because if you can't cast a fireball, well, you clearly cannot use magic. They discount the fact that maybe magic can be entirely within. Maybe that would be a new form of magic that, well, could potentially count as having created. I don't know. Will creates or helps discover a new form of magic. Physical buffs. That's what I'm gonna call it right now. And I already can tell that I left way too little space for the Wistoria theories. I already have already have a page is taken, and I only left myself a page after that. So yeah, we're gonna have to deal with that. Create a new type of magic, right? Or to earn a lot of points, 70 to 100. See Alfaria watching over them. Yeah, supplementary classes. Yeah, and of course the story spreads that, oh, Theon-sama is the one who defeated the biggest monster. He defeated a dragon, really, a drake, taking the entire chamber. No, it was 10 drakes, actually. He fought an entire fucking army. Did you hear? That's basically what's happening right now. I just wonder if those are his old goons or his new goons. I really cannot tell. They were so entirely and completely forgettable that I don't know if they are them, or did he find some new lackeys. It overwhelmed us immediately. So I guess it's them then, if he says as if he was there. But how is he alive then? I don't know. Yeah, Sasuga Sion-sama. Yeah, Sion knows the truth, and it stings, and it hurts that a magicless person, this fucking, what's the term for a magicless person in Harry Potter universe? I mean, not a mag. I guess he would count as a muggle, wouldn't he? Right? This fucking muggle was able to do that, but Sion-sama was not. And he knows the truth, and that's the worst part here for him, isn't it? Just storms off angrily. Headmistress Cauldron, with the cauldron behind her. How fitting. Yeah, of course, Severus would want him expelled. That makes sense, of course. Why is he so stuck on the idea of, sword cannot surpass magic? Like, you were able to see that, mate. You witnessed it, well, not firsthand, but I mean, basically firsthand. You saw that happen. You essentially just reject reality. So I wonder what brings it on. Why is he so dead set on rejecting reality? There's probably some deeper story to it. Some, I don't know. Completely spitballing here, completely and entirely spitballing. But seeing how Eddie Boy reacted to Will's mention of love, of doing it for love, and seeing how dead set he is on proving that magic is better than the non-magic, I could surmise that there is some tragic love story in his past. He was in love with a girl, and he had strong magic, but the girl chose someone who doesn't have strong magic. And he's like, no, but I'm superior, my magic is stronger, why don't you love me, girl? And he got jaded. Oh, love, what a silly reason. Oh, magic is superior, right? Shit like that, probably. It would explain a lot, at least, about his character. Yeah, doing really well everywhere except spell work. He excels to the degree that calling it mere excellence is insufficient. Yeah, he could become an artificer or a healer. Good to hear that there are, other possible venues. That it's not just fireballs and fireballs, but rather that there are other branches of magic, like potions, magical items, artificer, herbalism, stuff like that. Cool. It kind of, expands the world here. Has a duty to produce learned scholars for the fated day. Now that sounds like a keyword. It's even capitalized. Produce learned scholars. Sure, fated day. What is the fated day? The day we take down the barrier and face the gods? I mean, that's the obvious explanation here, isn't it? Right? We are going to be teaching people, we're going to be growing magic, growing stronger and stronger and stronger generation to generation until we are strong enough to be able to repel the demons from beyond the veil. Then we're gonna take the veil down and retake the skies. That's the plan, probably. The barrier is not seen as permanent, it's seen entirely and completely as temporary. Someday it's gonna be taken down. It can be tomorrow, it can be in 10,000 years, but eventually we're going to be strong enough and confident enough in our strength that we're going to do that. Probably. Fated day is when they take down the barrier and fight the demons to retake the skies. But a Magia Wander, that's the issue, right? Because he's aiming to be a Magia Wander and we cannot have it, can we? Give him a test. She knows what the outcome of that test is gonna be. She knows full well. I have full trust that she knows how it's gonna end. She wouldn't have ordered that test otherwise. Some really, really cool shots here. Really cool cuts. Right, this shot of her hands, this kind of weird looking shot of his face. And of course he's doing the, the villain thing. Yeah, he's such a fucking bishonen, isn't he? Another great cut. Those like partial cuts, they really add to the intensity of the scene, don't they? With the droning music in the background. Like, it can barely be called music, it's just a droning sound, creating the atmosphere of unease, and those weird shots where the face is just partially cut off. And there was that other one when she was this one, just the lips. Just the lips who don't even speak anything, just the smile to show that she's confident in what she ordered, to show that, she's satisfied with the outcome. that what Edward demanded here is not going against her plans. She's not angry about it, or nothing of the sort. It really is meaningful. Like, every single cut in this scene of them here was meaningful in some way. Yeah, test him to your utmost and determine the truth for yourself. We'll see how it goes, Eddie boy. Basically is what she's saying here. Like, I'm confident in what Will can do. You understand the Magia Vander better than anyone. Dark Viper Mage. Well, that's a nickname, alright. If you were not convinced that he's the antagonist here, he's named... what? Dark Viper Mage, and he's using only dark magic. I mean... can't get more villainous than that, can you? I'll never get permission to carry my sword on campus. Something tells me that after this episode that will change. That he will be permitted to carry it around. Hopefully. If I go back to the dorm, my roommate never lets me leave. Why? What exactly is their dynamic at the dorm? I really want to know now. I'm really fucking curious. How does he manage to leave every day for school if his roommate would just not let him leave? I don't know. I'm really curious about his roommate, you know, especially after that after credit scene. Rosti, yeah, you must be good, really good friends. Yeah, just regular ones. Oh yeah. Year 344 of the magical era, Battle of Garzanoso broke out. Dwarves race from another world, so we enter the world of interdimensional tomfackery as well, right? It's not just this world here, who's, you know, a world, and there are elves, and there are dwarves, and there are humans, and orcs, and goblins, and all sorts of creatures. No, the dwarves came from another world. There are parallel dimensions, or other planets, or stuff like that. Maybe the demons who attacked this world also come from a demon dimension, right? Something like that. Cool. The world really keeps expanding here a lot, and in very natural ways. I like it, right? Like, whatchamacallit? Reviewing your knowledge from magic history out loud is a very good natural way to introduce that magical history to us, the viewers, who are ignorant of it. Also, because the dwarves are here and like whole entire battles could take place, I'm assuming the big dome shield is even bigger than I expected, at least spanning a continent, I would say. Probably not the entire planet. I don't think so, because if it spanned the entire planet and the sun works in a way where they, you know, make it brighter or dimmer, and it's always up there, then the other side of the planet would just not have light, unless lights like those are distributed all around the planet. Which could be the case. Probably not, though. The barrier is probably spanning a continent at most. Overwork. Worse treatment than the elves, also from another world. Okay, so elves are also isekai'd here. 10,000. Yeah, and they still lost to just a single mage. Never give up, never surrender. Hello, Severus, just appearing between frames. And a test. Very cool, like semi-gothic architecture. Like there's a little bit of gothic in those spires and a lot of spikes essentially, but there's also that bit with the tinted glass that's more like Renaissance kinda area age, and fucking obelisk right next to it. All right then. Supplemental lesson. Right. And the teeth. The fucking teeth. It really just made me jump seeing his teeth just... Right, like everything else in this shot is such... rendered so plainly, right? Barely any shadows, barely any detail. It looks like frame out of fucking Naruto. I mean, Naruto could look good, so a frame like from fucking Boruto or Shippuden. Yeah, Shippuden kind of dropped in quality, right? Like, this would be the... He looks like fucking Orochimaru, doesn't he? And then there's the teeth, just meticulously rendered every single tooth. I will ascertain your worth myself, with dark magic, of course. 5 spellwork credits, or expulsion. And we learn nothing. Ashwind Wand, Crystal for monitoring well, okay. And yada yada. He's 25 and 178C, whatever that means. Is that his height, but in centimeters? I guess it could be his height in centimeters. And I believe he reached dungeon floor 31. I think that's what that number is. And he only has the Dark Viper wand. Again, if there was ever any doubt that he's the antagonist here. 2677, level 33 in the dungeon. She's not keeping it a secret from Workner. That's good. Because again, she's entirely, certain that Will win. Well, that's a sentence. Will win. Edward is currently conducting a test, and I'm entirely, entirely certain of the outcome of it. So let's watch how it happens. Did you bring popcorn? Maybe should I ask you some? You're forbidden from stopping him, and also, I mean, a good way to keep Werner here, isn't it? Don't tell him what happens. Summon him. Close the door, and if he tries to interfere, well, he can't, because he's here, and you control the entire room, probably, if not the entire school. Yeah. And yeah, also, it's fair, if she recognized his advocacy for Will, then she should also recognize the opposite of advocacy, I guess, right? She should see both sides here. She's the headmistress, she's the arbiter. Makes perfect sense. If someone wants to give Will a chance, and she allows it, she should also allow it if someone wants to test Will, if he deserved that chance. Yeah, I must recognize Edward's concerns in equal measure. Some really, really cool shots here. Yeah, this, like, panning, rotating camera. Amazing music, so fucking cinematic. I really love the music here. Why Professor Edward of all people? It's just too cruel. Too cruel to whom? That's a good question. I wonder if it might be too cruel to Edward, to Eddie Boy. Werkner referred to Eddie Boy as Ed, so they are or were close, it tells me. He's the closest to actually becoming a Magiavander. He may have been defeated, but he's an ascendant. He's reached the top of the tower. What do you mean he may have been defeated? Like, he already reached the top, he was already on track to becoming a Magiavander, he was already at the top of the tower, but he lost some duel and was banished from it? Something along those lines? That's how it reads, at least. And we know that some spells don't require the whole incantation of, oh, ye mighty god of fire, create the blaze that burns my foes. But you can just do Fetus Deletus, and that's the entire spell. Low-level dark magic. Defense impregnable 2. Right. Where was this shot of him just, orchestrating the magic? Because that was so cool. I guess Kiki also got hit. I don't know why, but I really expected familiars to not be, like, actively hurtable. It, like, right? Like, it rarely ever happens to see a familiar hurt in a way like that. It's either because the owner was hurt, so the mental link also caused the familiar to be hurt, or it's done as some sort of plot point. But rarely do you ever see the main character fighting alongside a familiar and the familiar gets hurt. Interesting to see that. The only magics I will use are my black flames to burn you and my shield to repel your unsightly savagery. Magical Doctrine 27, Gate of Babylon. Serious. Serious is, I guess, a barrage. Serious is when you cast multiple of the same spell, but with a delayed cast, so that they all cast at the same time. Something like that. Top tier mage. If only I had my sword. Right. And we got, already got some fuel for the Fujos. This is really just, Harry Potter in every single venue, including, Harry x Severus Snape /Fix or shit like that. Yeah, right? Like, you have your mother's eyes, Potter. I find them immensely attractive. Yeah, Kiki is hurt seriously. Sword. Magia Vander are the pinnacle of all mages. Battle of Garzaron. So it took just a single mage to defeat 10,000 dwarves, apparently. And apparently, we saw that shot, right? Briefly. Was it here? Was it later? But yeah, there was someone who looked vaguely like Edward, that was fighting against the dwarves, which makes me think it might be some descendant. Edwards, not descendant. Fuck, what's the opposite of descendant? Edwards. Fuck. I said this word already, but I lost it. Ancestor, yeah, Edward's ancestor. Ancestor was the mage who killed the 10,000 dwarves. How old is it? 28. Feels way hotter. Any case, a sword will never reach a wand. Abandon your foolish aspirations. Just what noble reason? Yeah, not a noble reason at all. Just I want to be with the person I love. Very personal reason. Very selfish reason, really. It's nothing as noble as proving my worth, or proving that sword can be as strong as a wand, or nothing like that whatsoever. Just a promise. Just a childhood pinky promise is what drives him. And Eddie Boy immediately finds it nonsense, impure, immoral, foul. He was burned in love somehow, wasn't he? Absolutely. And has a tragic love backstory, I guess. Probably again something along the lines of the girl he was in love with chose a weaker mage, and he thought that he deserves the girl, but she made a different choice. Foolish, pathetic, worldly love pushes you to reach for the apex of magic. I mean, yeah, sure. Do you need a better reason? No. Because I wanna is reason good enough. Because I want to spite you is an even better reason. Reason doesn't really matter all that much, does it? Yeah, the sword, the goggles. Where was... Yeah, that's such a fucking Kamina pose, isn't it? Really, really cool pose. Actually, I'm gonna screenshot it. There we go. Twice, just to make sure it's there. Putting on the goggles, he's just almost bursting a vessel. This isn't a wand. Well, no shit. Thank you for your astute observation. Another magical barrage. Where is the magic conducting? Did I already miss it? I think I might have. Because now Eddie Boy is mostly just brute forcing it. Or maybe not. Maybe it is here. Yeah, here we see the shot with the dwarf fighting someone with long black hair. Also, this like wide eyes at that moment, which is exactly what happened to Eddie Boy here. Yeah, easy. But I want to see him conduct magic. Where is that? I think it's earlier. Yeah, I'm not gonna be going that far. Whatever, doesn't matter. We've seen it once. Yeah, scored a hit. And that was even before Eddie Boy managed to fire a spell. So yeah, instant loss. And also, interesting, I don't know if it's actually a detail in a symbolic way or just just purely composition, but the fact that Ed is standing tall and proud and bent backwards with the Avada Kedavra, and and Will is crouching, cowering almost on the ground with his sword pulled up, right? And despite Ed being at the pinnacle, being at the top, being so far above above Will, he's still lost. And Will being below, he is reaching forward, is reaching upwards with his sword, and that scored him a win. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it. But if not, then it's a clear read of this nice little shot here. Yeah, I can appreciate an antagonist who's honorable. He said that if Will wins, he's gonna give him 5 credits, and he did. He's not bitching and moaning about it, no. He said he will, so he did. Just to dive into the barrage, I mean, yeah, we've seen what happened. We've seen exactly what happened. You can manage a slashing attack capable of overcoming magic. Right, yeah, I mean, we knew that. Elfaria with a marketable plushie, eating cake and drinking tea and eating some tiny little sliders that would probably cost like $50 at... Well, maybe I'm overdoing it, but like $10 each at Burger King, honestly. The stand thing doesn't make much sense, though. I noticed the leg in front of us kind of shouldn't probably look like that in this. Whatever, doesn't matter. Writing a lot of letters, and I'm assuming receiving a lot of them, and a woman who's, I'm assuming, something like Elfaria's aide, maybe. And yeah, the sun in the sky. And here we meet Ed's roommate. And that's the moment that any sort of fan pairings that have no chance to exist in the canon, that's unnecessary. We have an official We have an official gay pairing here. You can use it, and as you will, you know. You don't need to pair Will with Edward. You don't need to pair him with Sion, right? We have an official outlet for the Fujos, essentially. Oh, there's gonna be some really cool dynamic here between Will and the roommate and Colette, who very much has a crush on Will, but also probably is not gonna be able to stop herself fantasizing about Will ex Rosti, because she already seems like a little bit of a Fujo. I wonder if he'll be home soon. Well, you better wear that naked apron and welcome him with, would you like a bath, a dinner, or perhaps a tashi? I'm honestly half expecting that. Maybe if it was a different kind of show. Maybe if it was a show that has a little bit more fan service, I think we would absolutely see him welcome Will in Hadaka apron, asking for dinner, bath, or atashi. Absolutely. And we're gonna be doing some fighting. Okay, Order and Water. I'm assuming Water is gonna be the monster that we're gonna be fighting. Right. Oh boy. It's so fucking hot in this. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go grab myself ice cream after I'm done here. Regardless, very good episode. I enjoyed it very much. A little bit less Sakuga, maybe, than the previous one, but the first episode is what needs the most quality, right? To drive the people to watch future episodes, so it's to be expected. At the same time, no, actually, no. I wanted to say that at the same time, it kind of feels like the fight was kind of forced a little bit just to give us a little bit of Sakuga and fighting in this episode, but I don't think so. No, I initially might have had that impression, but I no longer hold it. This episode, for being an episode where Will has to fight a teacher, and that's essentially the clue of it, it really gave us a lot of information about the world, about the people here, about the history, about stuff like that. We know that there's something more probably to Eddie Boy, right? That he has some tragic backstory or something. We know that he probably has some history with Werkner. We meet the headmistress, who's also a very interesting character, who we can't we can't easily know what her goals are, what she's trying to achieve here. It's very mysterious. We learn a little bit of dwarves, of elves, of the size of the dome. We know that you can be thrown out of the tower. We know how you can ascend the tower, right? We learned a lot of the world building stuff. Even if the episode alone was essentially Will gets to fight the teacher, he gets beaten, he gets sword, he wins. That's how it could be summed up. That is not to say that the fight itself was not good, because it was. Some really good shots, some really good cuts, some really good animation, some bits and pieces of Sakuga. The music really stood out to me in this episode. I'm gonna be honest, I rarely notice music. Music, for the most part, from my experience, music in anime is just mostly inoffensive, right? It's just there so that there's some music in the background and it doesn't really matter all that much. There's rarely much, like, huge thought put into it besides the opening and ending, and besides, like, maybe, big important moments. In this episode, there was some really good orchestral cinematic, really just straight up cinematic music, and just as I rarely notice it, I did notice it here, so that speaks volumes in my mind. What else about this episode in particular? Anything else important, I wonder? I kind of wonder about how long this show is going to be. I wonder if maybe some other sources list the amount of episodes. I'm having trouble figuring out how many episodes it could potentially have. It could have 12 if we're just gonna be rushing a little bit, but we're not gonna reach any satisfying conclusion, I don't think. It could have 24, and I would very much prefer it. It's not listed on my anime list either. So we just don't know. Okay, we're gonna have to learn how many episodes it has. I'm hoping for 24 and a split core. Meaning 24 plus 24, just like Frieren is going to be. Because it just from those 2 episodes alone, I can see enough potential here for storytelling, for the world, for the character development, for all that stuff. I can see enough for 48 episodes and beyond. I really think they would be doing this show a disservice if they limited themselves to just 12. I really don't think they will be able to reach any kind of satisfying conclusion in just 12 episodes. Especially with the pace we're going at, right? Usually, what's characteristic for 12 episode shows is that they mostly, not all of them, Frieren is one such outlier, for example, but they mostly have every episode consist of 2 or 3 parts, right? You can essentially tell that an episode consists of 2 or 3 chapters of the source material. Not in this case. It really seems to me like every episode is focused on one big thing. A bit of a preamble, and then the thing, right? Just like here we had, meeting Sion, learning at the library, but the thing was the fight with Edward. And whenever I see that every episode has just one thing in it, that's mostly a staple of longer season shows. And hopefully I'm right here. Because with the pacing that we have, with just one thing happening per episode, we're gonna need more episodes to reach a conclusion of any given arc, right? So hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. This video is gonna be long, but there was a lot to talk about. There was a metric fuck ton to talk about, and a lot of theories. So, good shit. I really enjoy this show for this reason, among others, of course. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it from me for today. That's gonna be it from me for today, but you guys, you tell me, what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that, in the comments below. No spoilers, please, I beg of you. Spoilers can go to my Discord here, also in the description below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Wistoria, but also Spice and Wolf, Shy Season 2 QA, Isekai, what else do we have here? Bye Bye Earth, that one's also good, Isekai Shikaku, Wasuyu, I think I already mentioned it, and others coming in the future. I also stream sometimes, so you might want to click the bell icon to be notified when I go live and when the videos go live as well. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Washio, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube through memberships, super thanks, super chats. And if you don't want to do any of that, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, Zerene, Yuki Alai, Dr. Watt, Friedrich Jung, Akamancer, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to fight your teachers.